Today we're looking at the UGREEN DXP6800 NAS, or Network Attached Storage. This is a beefy unit just by itself, by weight. They have a few different models beneath this one. They have another model above it, and I think I just saw some information online that they just have a new GT model. But for my household and for my use, this will be kind of right in that sweet spot. Let's go ahead and take a look inside. Let's do a quick unboxing here. We have the accessories, which has our manuals, our warranty information. We'll set that aside. Power cable, Ethernet cable. Very nicely put together box. And I believe there's some SSD heatsink pads, excuse me, screwdriver kit, and some assembly for the drive bays, so you can attach your drive in there. Take the padding off. It's nicely packaged. Set that aside. That's probably not the safest way to do it, but that's okay. Awesome. Here it is. Okay, so we'll put the NAS aside for just a second and look at what came in the box again. We have our little placard for our 3-year warranty. Should always register for those when appropriate. We have a pretty thick multilingual instruction book, and I've included a still shot in the corner of this, but there's a parts list, because I know when I'm looking at review videos, I want to see like generally what's going to come in the box. Here is our Ethernet cable number 1, Ethernet cable number 2, standard. I'm in the US, so there's US power adapter. I'm sure if you get these for another location, they'll have an appropriate plug. And 2 silicone pads for your SSDs, if you happen to use those. We have 2 sets of keys for the hard drive bays. So when you take one and install a drive and you want to protect it with some physical security, you put the key in here. We'll demonstrate that a little bit later, but just on a quick glance, that's how we do that. So it comes with 2 of those keys. Then there's a screwdriver here. Let's go ahead and just rip this one open. It's pretty neat when they include their own hardware. So there's a screwdriver, and included in the bag are a few more, a bulk selection of screws, and that's pretty cool. This is I think a magnetic tip screwdriver, so that's awesome. That's pretty handy, but you want to be careful around electronics with magnetics. So there's those, and here's a little tiny miniature user instruction sheet. So we've got that as well. Let's take a look real quick at the underside of the unit. Very carefully, preferably without drives, turn the unit over onto its rear side. I've already taken the screws off for ease of access, and the whole unit is metal. So let's just set that aside. It's a spring-loaded clasp, so be careful if it kind of pops up, that's okay. And you'll see here, this area here is where our RAM goes, and this area here and here is where your M.2 PCIe cards go. So if you want to add that front side storage, I believe if you install just one of the units, it's read-only, and if you install both, you have read-write caching, I believe. But as far as the memory goes, I chose to stick with the 8 gig that comes standard with the product, because like hard drives, it's very expensive, so I can't justify the price yet, but when I do see the prices go down, I plan on replacing both of these with the maxed out RAM for DDR5 on this. Let's talk storage for a second. So when I was looking for storage for the NAS that I bought, prices are still pretty bad here in 2026. So that's attributed a lot to the data centers, AI data centers, and all that kind of stuff that's going on. So I couldn't quite get the quantity, the data storage size quantity that I have in my NVR, for example. There's no way that that would be easily affordable. So I had to kind of compromise and find something that would fit in the middle term. So right now I have purchased the Seagate brand 4 terabyte 3.5 hard drives for this NAS. Let's go ahead and crack one open just so you can see what it looks like. It's just a typical one. You open the package, different vendors will have different ways you do it, and it comes in an anti-static bag, just like that. Let's look at how to install the drives. When you first purchase the device and it comes out of the box, they're going to be in an unlocked position, which is going to be horizontal here. So all you do is use a finger to push on the bays like this, however many you need to. They also close with a pretty good clip, and you gently pull out what's called the drive caddy. And you'll see here that there's different manufactured positions for a SSD or a traditional hard drive. Let's go ahead and take a look at how to install one of the drives. If you notice on the caddy, if you're installing one of the traditional 3.5 drives, there's on the back a little button that says press. And if you press that, a little clip will release. You can slide this bay back and forth like such. And when you do that, let's take our drive. I've already cut the package and got the drive ready, and we just gently put it in the caddy. Make sure that the holes where the screws traditionally would go line up with the manufactured holes here, and you just clip it just like that. Okay, and now that I have all 3 of them installed, let's go ahead and put them in the NAS. Put the first one in, close it, the second one in, close it, and finally the third one, and close it. Now, I'll say this, you don't have to put them in physical numerical order. You can put them in whatever order you want, because inside of the software, you can designate different uses for this. But let's go ahead and lock it. And there you have it. Let's take a look at the rear of the unit for a second. We have first, it's magnetic. It's a dust screen or guard, and the fan, 2 fans here. Pretty neat. Get that ordered back in place. We have an 8K HDMI port, a 3.2 USB, 2 2.0 USBs, and we have 2 LAN ports, 10 gigabyte. Again, we're in America, so this is US power. You have a locking unit for like a Kensington lock, and you have a factory reset button. There's also a PCIe, I believe, port. You'd have to get onto the internals in here to be able to install that. My honest take right this minute is UGREEN is still an up-and-coming company in the storage sector. They've been around for a while. I have some docks from them. I have like a KVM switch from them, but nothing kind of high profile like this that would be storing a lot of really precious things like pictures or videos or things like that. So I did a lot of reviews as to what manufacturer I probably would want to go with, and I ended up on UGREEN because at the time, even though it's kind of cutthroat out there, UGREEN has a good price point. And even though I saved up some money on the side, a little extra to get this 6800, probably could have got away with a 4800 and still been happy, but the i5 Intel chip that is in here kind of sold me on it with the expandable memory and all of the other features that this can do for media storage, and also maybe some light VMs, you know, for IT stuff or whatnot. So I've got a lot of different ideas in mind, and I think that this is a budget-friendly entry into the market, so you don't have to go to QNAP or any of those TerraMaster or anything like that. So you've got some legacy locked-in software and hardware that hasn't been brought forward, and UGREEN seems to be doing pretty good at staying in the up-and-coming realm. So I've got a lot of potential and hope for this, and one day, if my budget allows, I'll probably set up a relay, like a backup to another UGREEN NAS somewhere else, off-premise, because you want to have your 3-2-1 backup philosophy in place, because a NAS is not a backup, even with RAID. Keep that in mind. You're just in the same susceptible situation if you put all your precious files on this, and then heaven forbid it happens, but you catch fire or water or theft. It's all in one place. Doesn't matter what RAID level you set up, it's gone. But if you have this and then a separate one at another location, for example, that's, you know, doing synchronous data transfer, for example, then you've got a better resiliency for your data. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm going to do in another video a walkthrough for the digital side of the software, like setting it up and configuring some very basic things. There's even attributes here that I don't understand all the way, so it's a learning for both of us here. But I hope that this video has been a good exploratory or introduction for you and me both, so that we can figure out how to use this and get it set up for us. I'll talk to you next time.